This is a special edition of Locked On Nittany Lions bonus content here, as the conversation that we had with Adam for 30 minutes plus just wasn't enough. So he's back on here for just a little extra segment that we hope you enjoy. Again, subscribe to Locked On Nittany Lions wherever you get your podcasts on YouTube. Become an everydayer. Check out what Adam Breneman is doing over on his platform as well. And we welcome in Zane Brancefield as we're just going to kind of wrap up the conversation that we had with Adam. I encourage you to go check out that podcast. I will link it in the description. Adam, just be out of curiosity, because you've went from Penn State to UMass, you coached at Arizona State, you've been doing commentary for a bunch of different platforms as well, and then now what you were building with Mercury State Media. But your relationship with James Franklin, I mean, this is something when I was getting ready to go to Penn State. I wasn't too far behind I know this seems like a long time ago, but I wasn't far from being a freshman, and I did 2 years at another school, but then 2 years at Penn State. And I remember that recruiting class with Christian, yourself, Garrett Sickles, etc. And just, it was iconic at the time. You were recruited and you played for Bill O'Brien, but your relationship with James Franklin, you guys seem very close. You have not only a business relationship, partnership, but a friendship that seems really unbreakable. For someone who was recruited and played for Bill O'Brien, and then unfortunately had the injuries that changed some things at Penn State, you ultimately transferred to UMass. You really don't get the chance to play for Coach Franklin. So how did your relationship build with Coach Franklin? Was it always there? Did you have to rekindle it? Because a decade later, it seems stronger than ever.
Yeah, it's a good question. Coach Franklin's been a big part of my life ever since I met him back in 2014. I guess it was his first year at Penn State. It's funny, he actually recruited me and offered me a scholarship when he was at Vanderbilt. So I knew him a little bit from that, but not very well. Yeah. And then I was with him for 2 years at Penn State. The 2 years, 2014 and 2015, I was hurt both of those years, and it was his first 2 years as the head coach. We formed a relationship during that time, even though I wasn't playing a whole lot because of my knee. We got to know each other well because he was trying to figure out the dynamic of the locker room. I was really close with Hack, and Coach and I had a lot of candid conversations in his office during that time of where's the program at? What's the locker room talking about? Yeah. And where we can get better. I was part of the leadership council, and I was part of that whole group that helped him during that time. And we got to know each other well during that. I've always had so much respect for him and how he goes about his business and how he is as an operator. And he's just one of the most motivated, intense, intentional, positive people I've ever been around. And then as my career post-football has gone on, I mean, he's been ultra supportive in everything I've done. Even when I went to UMass, he was super supportive. And then things after football, I mean, really to be honest, guys, like, he was a massive reason I got into coaching and the opportunity I got at Arizona State. I mean, I remember calling Coach Franklin and telling him that I was pursuing a job at Arizona State. I was like, "Hey, Coach, I'm in the running to get this assistant job at ASU," and I get a call a few hours later from the coach, from the offensive coordinator at ASU, who is giving me the job, and he says, "Hey, James Franklin just called me. Like, did you give him my number?" And I was like, "No, I don't know how he got it." So Coach Franklin went around and reached out to the guy to help me get the job at ASU. So things like that. He's been awesome and a big supporter throughout my life and my career. And now as I've been in media, he's been awesome. He's been great to work with. He's given me access to players and to himself, and has come on my podcast. And basically, we were up there the other day and set up at his office and just had players funneled in and out of the podcast. So he's been really good. I think it comes from a mutual place of trust and understanding, and he knows that I have the best interests of the program at heart. At the same time, I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to tell it like it is and give my real analysis of what's going on. But Coach Franklin's been an awesome mentor to me, and like I said, a big part of my life ever since I met him in 2014.
And this is the most transparent that I've seen Coach Franklin be in the past decade since he's been at Penn State. So whatever you say to him to get him to open up like this, whatever words you use,
he's definitely been in a good mood lately, which is good.
Yeah, that's I think there's a reason for that. But you mentioned where you have Coach Franklin is on this platform that you're building with Mercury State Media. And Zane, I want to turn it over to you because you have some interesting questions for Adam about what he is working on.
Yeah, so Adam, you're platform's kind of taken off right now. What do you plan to do with that? How do you use it to help other schools increase their recruiting or NIL, Penn State specifically? Like, what do you expect to get out of this?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, my personal platform, like my social media, my goal is to just become one of the main voices in college football. I think there's so many voices out there. A lot of them are older. A lot of them are the TV first angle of the Herb Streets and the Class and guys like that. Where my goal is to build my own profile and platform and be, when people see me, they think college football. When people think college football, they think about my content and me, and to end up, obviously build my following, build my podcast, but also get on bigger and bigger games, calling games on Saturdays and the television side of it, which is all really cool. It all kind of plays hand in hand. And the great part about that is it also parlays into the business side for me with Mercury and with State Media. It all kind of, it's like a spin wheel that all impacts each other and all has an effect on each side. So from a Mercury State Media perspective, I mean, yeah, our goal is one, to build what we're building at Penn State and make it the best college sports content NIL hub in the country. That's what we want to make it. And then once we do it at Penn State and do it the right way and effectively, we'll obviously scale it across multiple schools and platforms. And again, no one's ever combined what we're about to combine, what we're doing right now when it comes to content, NIL, partnership with the university, working with Letterman, working with big time alums, working with current players. Like, no one's ever done that. So it's a big task. Again, a lot of moving parts and a lot of things to coordinate and figure out. But when we do it, it's something that we're able to show other schools and say, look what we did at Penn State. We want to do it here with you as well. And then obviously find a me at another school, find the me at Texas, right? And go do it at a school like Texas, and build it out that way. There's a lot of opportunity. It's been, I mean, even from an investor standpoint and like a national business standpoint, a lot of people are interested in looking at what we're doing and saying, is this going to work at Penn State and what really is it? We definitely have attention right now. Like that's one thing. I was just talking to a couple other guys that work for me. I said, we definitely have attention. Like people are paying attention to what we're doing. Now it's on us to go execute and make it what we say it's going to be.
Do you have any big plans to help take that next step?
Yeah, I mean, I think the next step for us is we're about to launch 2 shows, which we're trying to become kind of premier shows when it comes to former current players. So we're going to launch one with some of the current players at Penn State on the football team, and then we're going to launch one with Christian Hackenberg, which will come out next week. So that's the next step, and then obviously, like we're planning the next kind of VIP Beaver Stadium experience event, and we're going to make it even bigger and better and more aligned with the collective and with the school and make it something even better for fans. So we got a lot of things that we're working on and some exciting things coming up.
Be interesting to see how much bigger you make it, because I was there last Friday and it was pretty good sized people already and it was very well run. So good job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you want those things to be small enough to feel like so people can actually get time, to themselves there. But without a doubt, I think we have room for some more people and to make it an even more special experience. So yeah, I appreciate you coming out. It was definitely a fun time, and the fans were great, and Christian was great. I think Christian threw 100 passes that day, so his arm was tired.
Adam, we really appreciate it. Bonus content here on Locked On Nittany Lions. Adam, thanks so much for the time. You can keep up with Adam, of course, on X, Twitter, also with State Media launching, and follow them as well. Adam, where can people keep up with your work?
Yes, follow me on Twitter personally at Adam Breneman 81 and all over social media, and then follow State Media at State Media PSU.
Thanks for checking out this bonus content of Locked On Nittany Lions with myself, Adam Breneman, and Zane Brancefield. If you really enjoyed it, go check out the full episode we just released with Adam Breneman. I'll link it in this description. Become an everyday or subscribe to Locked On Nittany Lions on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.